No, it started snowing last night, probably around like 8 or 9 o'clock. Still snowing now, but not as hard.
It annoys me because, like, down the road, literally like 10 minutes down the road, they got like, I don't know, 5 to 6 inches like we were getting called for. And I was like, cool, we got all the rain.
It
They got all the
kind of
snow.
just as it hit you guys, it started to cool off and then put the snow.
I guess I don't. I just it's because I have a friend
and
that
you
has.
fucking love the snow. That's
Yeah, I have a friend. Her husband and her kid posted videos of them build because their kid's only 2, so it was the first snowstorm and they built snowmen and shit. I was like, you live down the street. How did you? How? Can you just leave it at the door, please? Fucking Christ! Hold on.
yeah. Maybe that's DoorDash. All right. Let's see what I can get open here. Doo-doo-doo-doo. What do we got? NFL Network. Let's see. Twitch.
I don't know. Somebody ordered Safeway, and it's not our building. It's like 2 buildings over, and they dropped it here. So.
Oh, okay. I was like, kind of odd that you'd be like door dashing something at the beginning of the pod, or you know what I mean?
No, I have 7-Eleven on the way, but like we told them to just leave it outside the door anyway, because all it is my Ghost and Rain energy drinks for the week. So I don't.
Oh yeah.
Because through the 7-Eleven app will deliver, and I get points for it all. So and then I get free drinks over time. So I'm like, yeah, that's the best way to get myself some energy drinks nowadays. So
makes sense.
But,
we literally just ordered Walmart. Walmart's like 5 minutes from my house, and we ordered it for delivery because nobody wanted to go.
Yeah, we do that a lot too. Give me one more
It's great. We got that Walmart Plus, so all the deliveries are like a third of the cost.
Yeah, and Walmart Plus is dope.
Yeah, and you get priority. No, like you can basically make sure you get delivery.
Yeah, and the no delivery charge and crap. Yeah, it's so freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
But all right, hold on one second.
Good morning, Darlene. Okay, let's see. Lawrence active today. Okay.
No, nowadays I make my breakfast, so I don't need to worry about DoorDash and food and stuff like that. So I was confused when the door got knocked on. I was like, who the fuck is knocking? And then I open it and I was like, a Safeway order? Because occasionally we'll order our groceries. I'll order the groceries like to be delivered. Because if I don't feel like going out, that's my way of doing it. And I was like, I didn't think I ever put a Safeway order together. So then I had to look at the receipt, and I was like, that is not even close.
Yeah, wrong address. Thank you.
But they already left, so now they're just going to sit out there until I get done, and I'll take them over.
I always laugh about that because there should be like an app for like your neighbors, so you could be like, "Hey, your delivery's at my house."
Well, nowadays with the delivery thing, like with everybody ordering delivery, yeah, I actually agree with that.
Like find my delivery, like find my iPhone, but
yeah,
you just log in and be like, "Hey," and then everybody in your neighborhood gets an alert.
Man, I have upset some Ravens fans apparently.
Why? Like,
I posted the thing on Facebook about how they're 1-7 against Mike Tomlin since 2020, against the Steelers since 2020. But they're
Okay.
like 50 something, and they're all upset, going, "Well, we didn't play anybody yesterday." Even if you played everybody in one, you're 2-6 against them in the last 8 games. It's not better.
Yeah, it's still,
Like, it's an issue you guys need to focus on moving forward, because if the Steelers get their quarterback figured out, they're going to be a problem. The rest of the roster, besides maybe their secondary, is really freaking good.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and obviously the coach can get the guys to play. They really just need to figure out the QB situation.
Yeah, because, I mean, they didn't even have Minkah Fitzpatrick for the last, 7 games of the season, so...
Yeah, and they missed him for a couple before that, so...
Yeah, so, I mean, they're a good team. They just need to get the quarterback problem figured out. So it's worth mentioning that the Ravens, as good as they've been, struggle with their biggest division rivalry.
Yeah. And that happens, especially because you play those teams more often, so you know more tendencies.
Yeah. But they're all upset, saying it means nothing. If we win the Super Bowl, this stat truly means nothing. And I'm like, no, it still means something.
It still means something. Because you got to play.
It's been going on for the past 3 full seasons. That's why it matters. But that's fine. They can whatever. They can be upset all they want. I'm just pointing out a stat.
Yeah. Well, that's fan is short for fanatic. So
it's like the Dolphins. Like the Dolphins are Josh Allen's 6-1 against them, or 10-1 or something against them. I don't know. It's a crazy stat. Like, it matters, because if you ever want to win the AFC East, because they potentially lose the AFC East tonight.
Which I think they do. I honestly think they do.
I do too. You have to be able to beat Josh Allen to win the AFC East. And when the Steelers are good, you have to be able to beat them.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, with that lineup, the Steelers finished 10-7, which is already impressive. But with the roster they have, with the quarterback situation they have, and the running back room's not great, but they started to figure it out under the new OC. They were 5-1 against the AFC North this year. The toughest division in football, who all will finish above 500. They were 5-1.
Right. So they're good. They really just are a quarterback away.
That's just crazy. All right. So we both took the Steelers and
honestly,
Texans.
Who's to say they don't figure it out this season? But going into next season, because the potential of Fields being available.
That's fucking nuts, isn't it?
A quarterback heavy draft. I know they're going to be probably 18 to 20, somewhere in that range, most likely.
Yeah.
I mean, they could land a guy there.
14 make the playoffs, so it depends if they make it. But yeah, they'll be 18 or 19, basically. So yeah. Yeah. I
mean, there's a potential that a guy, there's 5 quarterbacks everybody's talking about?
And there's a lot of people saying Braden Daniels can either go top 5 or bottom of the first round. So
yeah, that's a LSU guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, could you imagine a guy like Penix falling to them? That's...
Yeah, exactly. The only reason he's falling is because of his injury history. Yeah. The first healthy season he's had his entire college career was this year. But look what he did.
And look what he did.
Yeah. And potentially does tomorrow night to close it out. But all right, we got a lot of games because only 2 have been played. We both took the Texans. We both took the Steelers. We both got them right.
Yeah, the Steelers game a little sloppy, but fun.
Yeah, it was raining sideways and I think upwards at some points. So I'm happy for the Steelers to at least have a playoff hope. I know a lot of Ravens fans hate to hear me say that, but it makes it more exciting entering today. Another team potentially on the fringe of potentially making the playoffs if other teams slip. I think it's good for football.
It puts pressure on.
Yeah. The Jags now know if they lose, they're out.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Because they started off so hot this year, and then
it's just even crazier when you actually put it into terms. Because if the Jags lose, they're out. If they win their division. So if you win, you win your division. But if you lose, you're not in the playoffs. That's nuts.
And Trevor Lawrence is going today, so
I didn't know yet. I didn't see, so that's good to know.
I don't know if that makes him any better, but he's going today.
ETN has to have a big game, realistically.
And the Titans are fired up. Their coach wants this win.
Vrabel's apparently reportedly potentially on the hot seat. By the way, everybody, tomorrow is Black Monday, so we will have some coaching to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, I think one of the dominoes is where what happens with my coach.
Yeah, him, Ron Rivera, Mike Vrabel, they're all like Ron Rivera's assumed, but no one has said like this is like when you know it's your last game. Sometimes you're just told, "Hey, this is your last game." Go out and coach because he's 1-0. So we're gonna get to it when we get to the Commanders Cowboys game, but he's 102 and 102 in his career.
Oh man, that sucks.
So like he's playing to finish with a winning record.
Imagine he's just like, I'm taking this game off. This one doesn't count.
Yeah. But so anyway, we got a lot of games to talk about. I don't know if we said it. Good morning, Boogie.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. To talk about for sure. I've had game day morning on since 9 a.m. since they started, and they have been talking a lot of Eagles. So they have filled my mind with Eagles comments. But what do you expect when Michael Irvin is your fucking guy?
Yeah, guy.
All right. So the first one I've written down is Falcons Saints. We'll go over playoff scenarios as they come up. For these two teams, it's whoever wins. They need the Bucs to lose, and they're in. I don't know if there's another situation for either of them.
Yeah, somebody's got to win this game. That's the start. Somebody actually wins this game. They don't tie.
Yep. And then they need the Bucs to somehow lose to the Panthers, and then the winner of this game wins the division and gets in.
The lowly 2-14, bottom of the league Panthers. David Tepper, $300,000 fine.
Oh my God! Hold on! Jesus Christ, dude.
Well, I'll get into the game here. Falcons Saints. Derek Carr, kind of. I don't want to say surging, but playing better down the stretch. We talked about it a little bit last week. He looks his best when he plays like Drew Brees at the end of his career, not long passes, kind of small chunk plays, like similar to like what would be the Patriots offense of old, 3-yard, 4-yard passes, dink and dunk. That's where the Saints seem to be best. Now, I believe Alvin Kamara is out today. So that's has some implications. I know Heineke was he is out today. He's a scratch. Desmond Ridder is starting for the Falcons. So we'll see. New Orleans is a 3-point favorite. They are at home, so it's basically a coin flip game. I think the way they're playing, I'd probably take the Saints here. In a close one. I think it'll be close, but I think the Saints. Now, the no Kamara thing hurts. The Falcons do have a pretty good run game, but they really need to figure out what they're doing at quarterback and how to use their fucking weapons, because they got lots of weapons, but not being put to good use in Atlanta.
Yeah, and if this isn't the team that hires or brings in Justin Fields, I don't know who would. Like, this to me has to be the team.
It seems like the most likely destination.
Daniel Jeremiah was talking about it this morning. He said he does believe the Bears are going to and should trade Justin Fields. He said because if you look at it, Justin Fields will probably get more than if he continues to play like this. He's probably going to get more money than Daniel Jones did. And he goes, and if you look at what quarterbacks get when they first get drafted, he said that they could be saving the Bears about $32 million a year by just restarting.
And that's the thing, is that as much as I would like, I would like to see them keep him, but they can't turn back the clock. So his contract coming up sooner is a hindrance.
Yeah, next year is the contract. So
it's the final, and we'll talk about this too when we get to the other game. But it's kind of similar with Trevor Lawrence. Like, what do you pay him? Because he's definitely not playing like a top end guy.
he definitely has to play another year before you worry about paying him because you can't base it off this season or he's going to take a hell of a pay to cut.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I think Atlanta is actually, when you look at the weaponry they have and what they do as a team, Fields actually is a pretty good fit, but at what cost?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. But we'll get to that obviously because we're only bringing it up because it's Atlanta. Because Atlanta has so many pieces. Part of it, I think, is Arthur Smith hinders them. I think their quarterback play isn't great. Do I think Ritter could have been better if Arthur Smith wasn't the coach? Yes, but
they're just a worse version of the Steelers.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
But this game is really tough to call because, like you said, no Alvin Kamara today. I only found that out because when I was doing my same game parlay earlier for the Saints Falcons game, I was like, why can't I put any Kamara things down? So I went and looked it up and found out he's not playing today.
Yeah. Yep. So no Kamara. That's kind of big.
So I don't know what's going to happen in that scenario without him. You know what? I'm not even going to bother. I kept locking my phone. I was trying to get my last one done, and it was Jets-Patriots, and I don't even know what I had anymore. I'm not bothering. That game's impossible anyway. It's going to be weathery and gross. It's the Jets and Patriots. But anyway, when it comes to picking, I don't know. This game is hard. I think both coaches might be playing for their job.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked to hear either of these guys, Dennis Allen or Arthur Smith's names tonight or tomorrow morning as coaches who have been replaced. It's in New Orleans. I don't know. I'm going to roll with the Saints.
Yeah, that's who I'm going with, too. I feel like they're playing I feel like they're playing better football now.
Yeah, and Derek Carr looked good last week. He figured out what he has to do. Just short throws and
he is Drew Brees at the end of his career. Dink and dunk, baby, dink and dunk.
Yep. So I think if I had to choose between the two right now, I trust Drew Brees more than I trust Taylor Heineke against a good defense.
Oh, Heineke's out. Ritter's starting.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I said that. I just read that on Twitter. I think it was one of the Field Yates or somebody like that was showing all the inactives for today, and that was on there.
Damn. All right. Well, yeah, definitely the Saints. All right. Next one I have written down: Jags at Titans. I don't know why I didn't know who that was at first. Jags Titans in Nashville. You told us Trevor Lawrence is playing. I was unaware of that until you informed me.
Yep. So he's active. They said it was a shoulder injury that was bothering him. There is no risk of re-injury, so he is able to go. He was on the field warming up. I just saw.
Yeah, I heard that he has some limitations moving certain ways with it, so It might limit his passing game some. But that's why I wasn't sure if he was going to play because they said he's limited in certain movements. But he's going to go. This is an interesting game because the Jags lose, they're out. They win the division.
Jacksonville is a 3.5-point favorite on the road.
Who's playing quarterback for the other team?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm going to pull that up real quick because if it's Tannehill, I feel one way. If it's Will Levis, I feel another way. It looks like it's Tannehill.
Yeah.
It is. That does not help my situation. I was going to take the Titans, but now I'm like, Jags have anyone inactive that's worthwhile? No. Kirk, obviously, but he's not.
He's out, yeah. His was what? It was like an abdominal issue?
And he tore his groin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Tore his groin.
He'll be out until they said he might be able to play the second week of the playoffs. So
they want him back for sure.
I hate these fucking things. I had to ban it 2 days ago in my chat.
Oh. Would you like a promo?
It's so annoying.
I think what's kind of crazy is when you look at the running backs in this game, Derrick Henry quietly has another 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, 10-14, not by much, but he got it. Because I always judge it by the 16th game, just because that's what we've always gone by.
Now he's done that on 261. Najee Harris is 1,035 with 255 carries. You know, DeAndre Swift, James Cook, Kyron Williams all have, 30 to 40 less carries and, more yards. Not by much.
Yeah.
I mean, Kyron Williams is at over 1,100, and then McCaffrey by far at 1,459 on 272 attempts is just insane.
Yeah, what he's done this year, Christian McCaffrey. If the quarterback award wasn't MVP, he would probably get MVP.
Oh, he's. I mean, dude's got 14 rushing touchdowns, 20 plus carries, or 9 carries of 20 plus yards,
7 receiving touchdowns,
3 that are 40 plus. You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah.
And 2 fumbles, so ball security is good. Now Derrick Henry has 0 rushing fumbles. That's another
he doesn't fumble the ball. He's a big dude, but he don't fumble the ball. This game's tough. I don't know which way you leaning. I don't know what actually.
I'm gonna go Jags here. I think they got something to prove. I think they're gonna lean on the run game.
It is, according to Weather Channel, 44 degrees will be game time temp in Nashville, and just cloudy, no weather. I'm going to take the Jags as well. I don't feel comfortable with it because they have not shown anything to believe in except for last week against the Panthers. But if this was Will Levis, I feel like he would, because the way he plays with that chip on his shoulder, I feel like he would be so excited to play spoiler and be playing at a higher level. But Tannehill is just such a mellow dude. I just feel like he's just out there to play another game of football. So I'll take the Jags. Next one I have here is interesting because of the situation. So Vikings-Lions in Detroit. They play each other tight every time because they're NFC North rivals, and that's just how we live. It's a 4-point favorite in favor of the Lions. I don't know if the Vikings can make the playoffs. Their situation has to be real weird.
I don't think they can at this point. They may have a very low shot.
Wild card. Hold on, let me pull it up. So they're 7-9. So they would need. I don't even know if they would have the tiebreaker. I honestly can't tell you, because I was gonna say they need the Packers, Seahawks, and Saints to all lose, and they have to win, which would make them all 8-9. But I don't.
So they have to win at Detroit, and then they need the Atlanta to win at New Orleans or Carolina to win at Tampa Bay.
Okay.
And then Chicago would need to beat the Packers.
Okay.
And then they need Arizona to beat Seattle.
Yeah.
So Vikings win, Bears win, Cardinals win, and Falcons or Panthers win, and the Vikings are in.
Yeah, it's a wild shot for them. They have to play with everything, but realistically, a very long shot. The Lions can only move up.
I guess if you had to give it a percentage, you'd probably give it like a 1%er.
Yeah, probably. And the Lions, the only way they can move up to the 2, they can't fall to the 4, is Dallas and Philly lose today. So I don't know if Detroit's going to play everybody the whole game. I know they're playing at the beginning of the game. I'm not sure how that's going to play out full game length.
Knowing Motor City Dan Campbell, he might, go for the full victory.
He probably will. They're not a very injured team either. So, there's a good chance that he's not too worried about the injury bug since they haven't really faced it.
Yeah, and let's be real here. If anybody in their secondary gets hurt, it's not really going to hurt them.
No, they can pull people out of the stands and they play the same way. The only really big risks are Goff and
the 2 running backs.
Well, yeah, as long as you don't lose both, they're okay with one, at least one.
And then you definitely don't want to lose Laporta.
Yeah, you can't afford to lose Amon-Ra or Laporta because Goff won't be the same at all. Very realistically, though, they do face the returning Matt Stafford to Detroit next week in the playoffs.
God, that is such a good story. It is so good.
Matt Stafford returns to Detroit where he felt he was mistreated or not given the opportunity to succeed. Jared Goff gets to face the team who gave up on him after taking them to a Super Bowl. It's a great story, but we have to get there first. Minnesota at Detroit. I'll take the Lions.
Yeah, Lions 4-point favorite here. They're at home in the Dome. I like them here as well. The Vikings kind of have that same thing. Carnival at quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Who's playing quarterback? Is it Nick Mullins again?
It's probably Mullins. Like, where's Josh Dobbs?
They not practice squatted him, but he's a healthy and active every week now. They have demoted him that far.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
like Mullins, okay. Like, he turnover happy, but at least he threw for 400 yards. The other guy they played, I don't know where they signed him from, but they need to give him back.
Undrafted free agent from BYU.
You need to give him back, okay? Just give him back.
That was bad. I mean, there was just times where the ball looked like a lame duck as it was leaving his hand. I was like, "What? How is that possible?"
Like, bro, I can throw a football.
But yeah, I'll go Lions.
Yeah, I like the Lions here. They're not much to play for, so depend like how quickly they get the taxi squad in, so to speak. We'll see, but I still like them here, and I think they're going to play them hard because it's like a division. It's a division rival.
Yeah, and you can literally just make it so they can't even worry about the playoffs.
Oh, and don't forget, they hung the banner this week.
Oh yeah, they hung that NFC North banner for the first time ever.
I fucking think that other banner looked real lonely until they hung that thing up.
I know.
Fuck.
I saw it and I was like, "There's only one other banner."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh no." Better start retiring numbers or something.
Yeah, they'll never do that, unfortunately. Even Megatron's number's not retired.
How? Like, come on, bro.
All right. We talked about it. We might as well get it because it's the next one on the list anyway. Seattle visiting Arizona. Both teams are going to play everybody just because I guess they want to play everybody. I mean, you might as well.
Game. I'm not going to lie. I like Arizona.
I could be wrong. But Seattle still can somehow make the playoffs. I believe all they need to do is win and have Green Bay lose. I believe is their scenario.
Let's see.
I think they're a 4:00 game with Green Bay.
Okay. So they beat the Cardinals and the Packers lose or tie.
Yeah. So there you go. You already said it. You're taking Arizona.
Yeah. I like the way Kyler's playing right now.
I'm going with you.
I know they're 4-12, but they are a completely different team with Kyler Murray. I don't know if you heard the coach, but he said not a shot. They're getting rid of him.
The franchise has actually already said, the owner has actually said this week that they are going to stick behind that, and he is going to be their guy.
Honestly, the more you watch some of his play, he's had his issues, but boy, is he talented.
And honestly, it's kind of hard to say that that's not a good thing for them. That's a great thing, in my opinion, because now they enter the draft knowing we just got to build around this guy. They don't have any more questions. If they really believe he's the guy, which I think he showed it this year, since he's been back, he looks more focused than he used to. He seems to have a better energy. I think Gannon's a great coach for him because he's a player's coach. And I think that it's good for them to say we know what we need to build around him. And Seattle, I think it's kind of like what we said about Pittsburgh and what I feel about Atlanta. They just need the quarterback. I'm not saying Geno's not good, but Geno's more of a backup type good. I don't think he's the guy.
If you think about it, if the Bears take Caleb Williams 1, they're the first team not picking a quarterback. They're taking Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
They're taking Harrison. If he's there, they're taking him at 4.
Yeah. Maserati Marv should declare in the next – I think they only have like 2 weeks left.
Yeah. I mean, because picking ahead of you, you're going to have, depending on how today plays out. I mean, if you win, that you probably fall.
I'm Googling this.
No, you'd still be ahead of New York and still be ahead of the Chargers. So
they have to declare by January 15th.
Oh, a week. Fuck.
Yeah. Next Monday. They've got to declare by next Monday.
Because that's what I could see happening is if they're sticking with Kyler, they're going to go get him that weapon, and that would be a great weapon to get.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, no, I'll take the Cardinals here too. I think the Seahawks are reeling. I think they're just sliding all over the place. They don't have consistency at quarterback. I honestly believe in their own locker room, some of them feel like they're better with Drew Lock right now than they are with Geno. And I think it's just not going well for Seattle from what we saw at the beginning of the season. So,
yeah, I think I don't know. I think they're a team kind of like the Patriots, where I see maybe you need to move off Pete sooner or later.
I keep feeling that way too. I love Pete Carroll, but maybe it's just time for him to move on and go live a life. Even if he wants to move to a front office role, I just don't think he's a head coach anymore.
Yeah.
But next one is a game that matters to Seattle. Green Bay hosting the Chicago Bears, who they have beat every game since Matt LaFleur became quarterback. They're 9-0 in the last 9. They have played each other 208 times. And this is a cool stat that Kurt Warner provided this morning. 208 matchups. There has never been a game where both quarterbacks have accumulated 300 total yards on both sides of the football. And he said that today will be the day, and I kind of agree. I think Fields will get 160-ish to 180 passing yards and probably 100-something rushing yards with how bad our defense is. I don't know if it's snowing. It snowed a lot in Green Bay the last 2 days, but I think they have cleared it out. I saw them shoveling snow off the stands earlier. I'm going to check the weather. Not that it really matters. Both of these teams are weather
37 and overcast right now.
Yeah, today's game time forecast. I got an ad on Weather Channel. I always love this. Is 34 degrees and overcast is the game time weather. So just a cold game in Green Bay. Man, how Jordan Love's been playing, it's hard not to take him. But with how the Bears have been playing, it's hard not to take them. This is a really fucking.
I'm torn on this one. I really am. Like, this is an insta lock Packers win, right? Normally,
yeah.
And now, since the changes they made, their defense on the Bears side is incredible.
Actually, let's see. Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm going to check how healthy the Packers are.
The Packers are rough defensively, but offensively, with all the rookies, they've been producing.
I will give them last week 33-10. Holding the Vikings to 10 points was nice. But again, Jaron Knoll was quarterback or whatever his name is. I don't even know.
Jaron Hall.
Right? Oh, there you go. Yeah. He's so bad.
Until you said his name, I didn't even remember his name, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, there it is. It's in there somewhere." But give him back, please. Just give him back to wherever, BYU or wherever.
There's too many goddamn questionables. I don't know their injury status because it's a 4:00 game.
I really.
I'm taking the Bears. I'm taking the team with. I'm taking the team whose defense has stepped up every single freaking week in the past 5 weeks. They lead the league in interceptions defensively, which is
insane.
Something you would never think you'd say about the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields has been playing really good football, and I think he's out there to prove, hey, if I'm not going to be a Bear, this is what you guys get, and then maybe the Bears get more take from it, and he's going to probably sign a contract as soon as he gets traded.
Is Jair playing? Because he would be who covers more, right?
As long as they let him travel. It's 50-50 on whether he lets him travel. Joe Barry does not let him do whatever he wants. Jair is playing.
Jair does what he wants anyways. He went out to the coin toss.
The questionables, though, are concerning. So Darrington Wicks, the number 3 receiver, is questionable. Christian Watson is questionable. Jaden Reed is questionable but expected to play. Luke Musgrave might be back.
I
For
saw
those who
they
did not
activated
know.
him.
Yeah, they activated him, but he's still questionable to play today. For those who didn't know, he had a ruptured kidney from a hit he took during a game that he finished playing the game before going to the hospital.
You got two of them, right?
Exactly, you know. AJ Dillon is inactive though with a neck injury. Elton Jenkins, the starting left guard. I don't know how he didn't make the Pro Bowl. He's a second team All Pro, but whatever, that's fine. Left guard is questionable. So there's a lot of questionables, but the Packers seem to just live by the mentality of next man up.
And this game, they need to win. It's a must win. Yeah,
you win and you're in. Jordan Love actually did an interview with Kurt Warner.
And that's exactly why I'm going to take the Bears here. I think I don't want to say the moment is too big for Jordan Love, but knowing that they intercept the ball the way they do on that defense, and he has been prone to errant throws.
Yeah, he's not throwing a lot of picks because he's just throwing it where nobody can get it. They're just not making sense. But no, I went with Bears as well. I think that defense has just I don't know where it came from. It woke the fuck up.
Ever since that Montez Sweat signing, like they really turned it around.
Yeah, these two haven't played each other since week 1. I don't know the last time I've seen a team play each other week 1 and then 18. But so it's been a lot of changes since they last met when the Packers beat them in Chicago. So I don't know. I don't want to take the Bears in Lambeau. It's even harder to do as a Packers fan, but right now the Bears are rolling and people can go, oh, the Packers are rolling. We lost to the Bucs and the Giants. Like in the past 4 games, we're 2-2 in the past 4 games. The Bears are rolling right now. So I'm going to take the Bears. And I kind of think, this might help Fields' case a little bit with if he come out here and dominate, he might if he come out and get that bug off his shoulder, the Packers always beating him. If he goes to Atlanta, he can go, look, I'm improving in every level of the game. I'm worth more money than Daniel Jones, which he is.
For sure.
Maybe he can get himself paid because I don't think the Bears are going to pay him. So especially since they have that number 1 pick. Now we don't know because it all comes down to next Monday. Caleb Williams doesn't declare. At least the last I've checked. And do you feel comfortable enough to just move off Fields for anyone else in this draft?
I don't know if you're doing it with the number 1 pick.
I don't know if he has yet. Caleb Williams. No, he has not. He calls it a game time decision still to this day. ESPN has Caleb Williams going 10th in the newest draft class, by the way. In the newest update.
Well, we know why ESPN is a dying brand.
Yes, because that is the joke. But anyway, we both took the Bears. All right. Giants, Eagles. In New York, I'm assuming the Meadowlands are still getting rained on and snowed on. I'm going to check East Rutherford now. It is snowing currently. Snow expected to end around 2:45. It's going to be windy and in the mid-30s today for the game and snowy-ish. Favors the running teams. Both of them run the ball a lot.
Devontae Smith out for the Eagles.
Jesus Christ, really?
Yep.
With an illness? Bro, unless you dying. Oh, wait. DeAndre Swift is out for the Eagles as well.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's the illness. Sorry.
Yeah, Devontae Smith, the wide receiver, is out.
Ankle injury, yeah. Darius Slay is out.
Yeah, this is not good. This is a tough one. Tougher than you would expect.
Fuck it. I upset Boogie last week, and I'll just continue upsetting my good friend Boogie because I'm taking the Tyrod Taylors.
I have a feeling I'm leaning the same way here with the Giants.
I think the Eagles can get the ship right in the offseason, but right now, and it's a little bit of everything. It's not just the defense. It's not just the offense. It's not just Nick Sirianni. It's not Matt Patricia. It's a little bit of everything. The defensive tackles aren't doing their job. The linebackers aren't doing their goddamn jobs. No one is wrapping up and tackling. The secondary, it's like the whole all of the coordinators are failing to prepare their guys.
It's almost like they got the Super Bowl hangover
all season.
Right.
It's fucking nuts.
Like they're just to me it seems like they're playing the game the way they think their team is the same as last year, and it's not.
It's just crazy because like even Jalen Carter's not playing as well all of a sudden, and Fletcher Cox isn't playing as well.
And AJ Brown there's this whole thing about him being unhappy in the locker room, and
since week 9 he's been irrelevant. He's only had one 100-yard game in the past 6 weeks.
And he came out and he made a statement that's it's not a problem. There's no problem between him and Sirianni, but like when you're having to do that type of shit, something's wrong.
And then, he's been called out as not being supportive of his teammates. So to try and prove a point, he has everyone over for like a dinner or something to prove that he wants to hang out with his teammates. And I'm like, if you have to do that after you get called out, there's still something wrong.
Right.
I got a bad feeling for it too. And it doesn't matter. Like you guys are probably the 5.
Well, they're actually just talking about it right now. Receptions per game is down 2 total receptions. His yards per game is half of the 117 it was. It's now 63.5 weeks 9 through 17. They were just talking about it on Game Day Live. So there's issues with this team, and then obviously not having Devontae Smith and not having DeAndre Swift today. Well, you know that Jalen Hurts is probably going to be your main runner of the ball.
And Deonte Banks now knows he only has to worry about one man. That's A.J. Brown.
Yeah, who's mentally probably not in the best state right now.
Yeah, I don't – there's a lot of chemistry things going on in the locker room. Like a couple weeks ago, AJ's saying it's not Sirianni's fault. Us players are making the mistakes after Jalen Hurts threw that game, the pick to when he was trying to go for the game-winning play. There's been some questionable decisions by Matt Patricia in the second half. They showed it earlier. He's only allowing 6.5 points a game in the first half since he's taken over as defensive coordinator. But they're allowing 24.5 points a game in the second half since he's taken over.
So once teams adjust to whatever they're doing, they're getting blown out.
Yeah, because Matt apparently just goes, oh, look how good we did. We don't need to make any adjustments. Like, no, you have to adjust your game because they're going to adjust to what you're doing. But now I'll go Giants. I don't feel comfortable because either way, I could see the Eagles saying, all right, we're back. They could just try and swing this and say, we're here, put pressure on the Cowboys to not lose to the Commanders in D.C. today because the Commanders are playing for Ron Rivera. All of the players have said, if this is Ron's final game, we want to give him a win on his way out. They're playing with a lot of energy. The Cowboys suck ass on the road. So there's potential there. So the Eagles
just
can
remember
show up.
2020 week 18 Commanders beat the Cowboys.
I think they beat them last year in the final week of the season with Sam Howell.
Oh, do we get a repeat?
I'm pretty sure that's how they ended the season last year. I don't know how to check that on my current app, but I thought that's what they said earlier. Sam Howell made his first start last year and won against the Cowboys.
January 8th, 2023. Commanders 26, Cowboys 6.
Yep. And that was the end of the season last year. That was Sam Howell's debut. By the way, Sam Howell is the first Commanders quarterback to start every game of a season for them since Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
But anyway, Giants. I'll go Giants. You taking the Eagles or you taking the Giants?
Oh, Giants for sure. And again, it's I like the way they play with Tyrod. It's so strange. Like, just roll him, and you're tied to Daniel Jones now, but it's like, bro, you're a different team with Tyrod.
To be fair, they're only tied to him for 1 year, so because they have an opt-out. So Daniel Jones needs to
they need to get out from under that contract real fast.
I've seen a lot of people say they take Jaden Daniels and just have him sit for a year because he's the youngest of the group of quarterbacks. And
you may not even sit him the whole year. Daniel Jones doesn't make it through whole seasons.
Yeah. But all right, Patriots Jets in
Oh God, this barn burner of a game. Possibly
in
the
Foxborough
last game of the
of Bill
Belichick
Belichick
era.
as a Patriot. Yeah.
Maybe he rides off into that Nantucket sunset, shirtless.
I have him riding off into the Nantucket sunset with his man titties hanging out. I've got the Patriots
exactly,
winning.
shirtless, coming out of some Nantucket Cougars home. God, this is a tough game to call. Mac Jones scratched, so he's out. The failed experiment of an Alabama quarterback with an Alabama OC.
There is news in this game, too, besides the Mac Jones thing. Zach Wilson was IR'd, and they apparently said this will be his final game as a New York Jet as they're going to trade him in the offseason.
Yes, they actually did come out and say that.
So,
hey, look.
I mean, it's not his last game because he's on the IR, so I don't know why they said it's his final game. But
look, he's going to get a new set of moms. And
yeah.
You know,
he might go to the Eagles and back up Jalen, and then he can hang out with Mama Kelsey all the time.
Come here, Donna. God, New England's a 2.5-point favorite at home. So apparently, the other news that I heard about this game is that Trenton Brown is scratched.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And he's been scratched for the last couple games because he had some type of bonus upcoming, and him and Belichick didn't see eye to eye on something, so Belichick is like scratching him on purpose.
Missing season finale due to a quote-unquote illness is what it says on this app.
Yep.
No Tyquan Thornton today. Not that makes a big difference. You said no Trent Brown, no Mac Jones. No, a lot of people, your IR list is so fucking ridiculous. I don't even feel like trying to figure out who's injured. I'm going Patriots. I'm going to give Bill Belichick a win in his final game.
I just think this defense stops whatever the Jets are going to do, right?
I think it's going to be like a 6-0 game or a 6-3 game because I think both defenses are just going to show up. And
I mean, the over-under is 28.5.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. Who the fuck's your backup if it's no Mac Jones? Nathan Rourke. What in the hell is a Nathan Rourke?
Is he undrafted out of BYU as well?
Oh, my God. Is he he might be the Jag dude from the preseason that was playing. Yeah, he is. He's the Jag. He was the dude on the Jags from the CFL that in the preseason he was playing crazy, amazing football. And then they just practice squatted him, and you guys claimed him off their practice squad.
There we go. I like it. Throw him out there.
So are you taking the Pats?
Yes, I'm going to take them today because if I take them, they're probably going to lose, and that cements our spot.
With 3 or 2?
I think we're at the 3. I think if the Commanders lose, they're the 2.
Oh, yeah, the Commanders are the 2. Yep, 100%. That is correct. Commanders expected to move on from Ron Rivera tomorrow, according to Ian Rappaport.
I mean, it just makes sense. New owner, clean house.
Yeah.
You know, rid the carpets of the Dan Snyder smell, if you will.
So there probably won't be an announcement tomorrow, regardless of how today's game goes, but Mike Vrabel and the Titans brass to discuss his future this week. And Mike Vrabel has openly admitted he is frustrated with the way the organization is going. So that might mean he's going bye-bye.
I think he'd still be a sought-after coach, even though he's a defensive guy.
I think he's a phenomenal coach. He's doing what he can with Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis. And I know it wasn't great this year, but last year they were competitive.
And apparently players really love the guy because he's an ex-player. So he knows what they're going through.
No, I think a team like he's a guy I think could go in if he got like an actual backing from the Patriots. I think because he's a former Patriot, won Super Bowls with them, he could really come in and maybe.
Yeah, basically you would be handing over the reins to him, and you'd hope to keep Gerard Mayo there.
Yep. Yeah,
And that
but I
would
hope
be-
they actually. I would love to see Gerard Mayo as coach, though. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah, you know, when I heard his name come up, I'm like, actually, I don't mind that at all. Like, and on the Jets side, I think it's just they're on like the clock countdown. I really think they need to get away from Nate Hackett, but I know they're keeping him because of Rodgers.
Yeah, they need to get rid of Nate Hackett 100%, but they're going to keep him. They need to go get an offensive line. They just draft an offensive line entirely and get something in front of Rodgers next season. Otherwise, he's not going to make it through week 1 again. All right, the next one is a fun matchup. It is Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold in the Rams versus the Niners.
This one of them might get a starting job after this game, you know.
There will not be a Kyron Williams. There will not be a Christian McCaffrey, a Matt Stafford. This is the Rams have nothing to play for.
Now Nakua is probably going to play a few series.
Yes, because
he needs 25 yards to set the rookie receiving record.
Yes. But there will be no Aaron Donald. There will be no Tyler Higbee, no Cooper Kupp.
It makes that for them. They have nothing they can change.
No, they're the 6th seed automatically.
So
take it and just go.
You're a 6th seed going into the playoffs, and you're probably one of the teams that everybody fears.
And how much do certain players mean to the Niners? Fucking people like Kyle Juszczyk isn't playing today.
Yep.
They're sitting the fullback. Brandon Ayuk is expected to play. I don't know if he's like close to an incentive in his contract and they're letting him play for it. I don't know, but he's expected to play. Probably not the whole game because the Niners literally have nothing to play for. This is one of those games you said earlier this week when you were like, you got to flip a coin. I don't fucking know. No one's playing anyone in this game.
Yeah, I did say that about most of these games is they're kind of a coin flip because the odds are San Francisco's not going to look like San Francisco and the Rams aren't going to look like the Rams.
I'm going to take the Niners just because I trust Sam Darnold more than Carson Wentz. That'll be my logic.
Yeah, I feel that logic. I'm going to go the same way. But I mean, if you look at the other, quarterback coming off the couch in the league, maybe, just maybe this long period of rest and hunting for Carson Wentz has got him mentally prepared.
Yeah.
To go hunting in the NFL,
I mean, both of them are here to prove that they can at least be a backup next season and earn a decent contract.
Yeah. Earn some money and ride the pine, if you will.
We see how many injuries just happened at the quarterback position this year. So, a backup now means you have a higher chance of playing than
you want to know. You want to know what I heard a crazy stat. It was I believe the quarterbacks that have thrown a pass in the NFL this year is like 73.
Yeah, it's in the 70s.
It was higher last year. It was over 80 last year.
That's crazy.
I like when I thought back, I'm like, there's no way. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh wow, really? There was a way.
That's crazy.
Because I feel like this year it's been like a very focal point of the NFL. Maybe it's just because you have a lot of the high profile guys going down. Rodgers, Joe Burrow. You had last week you had what's his name there? Trevor Lawrence miss a game for the first time in his career.
You've had Purdy miss games. You've had Stroud miss games.
Yeah. And then the one guy everybody's waiting on an injury for, Tua, doesn't get hit all year long.
Tua and Lamar, I both were like, all right, it's halfway through the season. It's time for one of you. And they're both like, no, we're good.
No, we're good. Yeah.
This is not how this is supposed to go, but sure. All right. Bucks Panthers is the next one. We've talked about it earlier. We'll talk about it quickly. Bucks win. They win the division. They're in. They lose. They need a Falcons and Saints tie. Otherwise, they're out.
This Panthers team can't score points.
Yeah, and Baker knows if he wins this game, he probably gets a nice 2 to 3 year extension. If he loses this game and looks like he did last week, they might say we might have to move on. Rumors are Todd Bowles is also playing for a job today.
I like the way they've played.
I agree. But Mike Evans is a free agent, so who knows what the hell is going to happen now. I'm
I mean,
trying not to overthink
Baker
this,
Mayfield does make $1 million if they clinch a playoff berth, so he's got something to play for.
He's playing through some real fucked up ribs, from what I understand. He said he is very sore today, but he is going to play.
He's a gamer. I feel like he just he's one of the guys that has actually grown up since coming to the NFL.
Yep. I wanted to take the Panthers because I want to see the upset just because it'd be fun, but I have no hope in that.
Yeah, I can't. They're just not scoring enough points. These guys are playing for the playoffs, so they're playing everybody. You're going to have to cover Godwin, Evans. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Rachaad White's probably going to dice him up.
Yeah, the Panthers suck against the run. In this game, I do want to point out for those big-time – hi, Jen. How are you today? That confused the shit out of me.
She actually streamed last night. I saw that.
I know. I rated her on Saturday or Friday.
Hello.
This is probably Brian Burns' final game as a Carolina Panthers. So,
I think for sure he's going to go somewhere where he can actually win games and
be on a team where he has some help at pass rush, so he's not getting double teamed every game. But yeah, it's Bucks.
I'm Bucks all the way here. I mean, it's not really. Carolina's got nothing to play for. Their situation can't get any worse. Do you think?
I'm glad you're good.
Do you think last night, when they saw that first throw from Stroud for 72 yards for a touchdown to Nico Collins, they just started crying?
Look, I don't know David Tepper as a person, but I think part of the frustration and the reason he's throwing drinks at fans as an NFL owner is because he's looking at the product on the field. And I'm not saying Bryce Young can't become a decent NFL quarterback, but he's knowing that his coach that he hired wanted the guy over in Houston who just is dominating this season, took his team to a playoffs after being like 4-13 last year. And he's looking at what he told his coach he had to take, and it sucks.
Yeah, he made the bad business decision, and now he has to live with it.
And I think that's a lot of his frustration and why he's starting to act like a toddler about a lot of things. But because David Tepper's name really never came up before this season.
Well, think about it, dude. Okay,
Panthers owner.
What high-profile coach is going to sign up for an 8-game trial?
No,
None. You're going to have to pay him $100 million.
Yeah.
You're basically, and they're going to want all that money to basically ensure that when you have your temper tantrum when we're 1-7, that I'm paid. That's the only way you're getting a guy to coach that team, because your decisions. And unfortunately, he needs to take a good hard look in the mirror and figure it out, because I'll tell you right now, this team ain't working this year. It's not working next year.
No.
You're full rebuild right now after spending all that capital on a guy who's not going to work as an NFL quarterback.
And you're realistically looking at a division where if the Bucks I honestly just think you could re-sign a couple of those guys. Even Baker works, and they figured it out. Rachaad White makes part of the offense. That team is really hard to beat. The defense gets healthy because they played all season hurt. You got to deal with the Bucks. You got to deal with the Falcons. If they get a quarterback, the Falcons are a good team, a real good team. And then you got to still deal with the Saints. And if you get rid of Dennis Allen,
Saints defenses are always ridiculous. I think
just get rid of Dennis Allen.
Yeah, they might be a coach away. The Derek Carr thing, we'll see how it goes in year 2. But yeah, I mean, everybody else in that division is serviceable for sure. You are nothing. Like, you are nothing right now.
No, the whole roster's bad.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose one of your best players in Brian Burns. The only other piece you have, maybe you trade him during the trade, like during the draft or before the draft, to try and get some pieces, is Jeremy Chin. You trade your best safety and maybe you at least get some draft picks back since you don't have any. I don't know. They're in a real big trouble, but yeah.
You need to call up the guy who is the Rams GM and get some notes from him on who to draft in the 5th round.
Yeah. All right, next one. This game means nothing as well. Broncos Raiders.
I don't know.
So we get Jared Stidham and Aiden O'Connell, matchup of the century.
Yeah, let's go with matchup of the century.
It's still young. It's still young in this century. Okay, we got time. I like Las Vegas here. That defense is still rolling. Pierce, if Pierce can get to 8-9, not bad.
Yeah, I also have the Raiders today, but I keep telling you, man, that owner is an idiot, and Mark Davis is going to make a mistake. The whole team said, like multiple players on this team, Devontae Adams and many others have said that he is their guy, and that's who they want next year.
And he's going to go sign a guy to a $100 million contract. You watch.
Ian Rappaport reported this morning that the Chargers and Raiders are the two front runners for Jim Harbaugh.
Yep, I've heard the Harbaugh to the Raiders thing too, and it's becoming louder and louder.
Yep, if it's not the Chargers, it's the Raiders. That's what everybody's saying. So I think Jim Harbaugh would rather go to the Raiders because they're not in cap hell. He's going to have a hard time with the Chargers because they're going to have to offload a lot of pieces, being the team that's second most in cap. They have a big problem entering next season, depending on how much cap gets added for the. They always add cap space for the incoming draft picks.
And it always goes up because the NFL makes so much damn money.
Yeah. Michael Irvin earlier today was talking, I don't think we picked that game yet, but he was talking about how the Cowboys in the offseason are probably going to give Dak $300 million or something like that, $50 to $60 million a year for the rest of his career. They're going to make Micah Parsons $200 million. They're probably going to pay CeeDee Lamb $180-something million. Like, so you're going to have literally nobody else on the roster?
Yeah.
Like, you literally are saying those three guys and then fuck it. Like, your offensive line is too good not to pay.
But they're also aging.
Yeah, the only young guy on their line right now, I think, is their center, Tyler Biadasz. He's a third-year center out of Wisconsin.
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 I only know one rapper that can rhyme that word. T-Pain.
Really? T-Pain?
Mansion in Wisconsin, remember?
I thought it was Riff Raff over in, I don't know where the fuck
Riff Raff is in my top 5 worst of all time. I love it.
Kiwi said he's her favorite rapper, so I just have to know
he's
Riff
so
Raff.
good because it's just comical, man.
Anyway, Chiefs Chargers. Blaine Gabbert versus Easton Stick.
Oh, another matchup. Oh man, these are riveting.
The Chiefs have the 3 seed, so automatically, so they're not playing for shit today. So
which receivers are out? Because I need to know if the guys are going to drop the ball or not.
Yeah, Rashid Shaheed's out, if that matters at all. Not Rashid Shaheed, sorry. Rashid Rice is out.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, give me the Chargers.
Nick Bolton probably not likely to play.
Yeah, give me the Chargers.
Trent McDuffie not to play. L'Jarius Sneed is not playing. Kadarius Toney, thankfully for them, is not playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was asking. Which guys dropped the ball?
I'm going Chargers as well. I think.
Did you see that graphic I sent you? It was like, I thought these were MVS stats to begin.
Yeah.
87 targets, no receptions.
That made me laugh pretty hard because I honestly thought, I looked at it and I was like, Tony? And then I was like, are they really talking about Sneed?
Yeah. And that's funny. Just that was great.
By the way, yards after catch leader in the NFL is a rookie, and it's motherfucking Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
It's not Tyreek Hill. It's not
Rashee
CeeDee Lamb. It's Rashee Rice.
That dude turns a 10-yard catch into a 70-yard catch real fast.
He is incredibly talented. Like, they have a number one. They need to get help otherwise. Somehow Kelsey's only 16 yards away from 1,000-yard season for like the 8th consecutive season or some shit. So we know he's going to play.
They're going to get him the ball early and then get him out.
The game plan is probably going to be in the first 2 drives. Throw to Travis Kelce if you can. Otherwise, hand it to Pacheco. Like, that's
that comic book runner we have.
He is the dude. We always talked about how he runs angry, and then somebody posted that film of him,
Yeah.
like the way he steps, and now I can't unsee it ever.
Yeah. Oh, just those like it's so weird because it's like an angry high step.
Yeah.
It's like just the way that legs chug. It's just like, come on, bro. You can't tell me this is real.
Yeah, and then you got Easton freaking Stick playing to prove that he can be the Chargers' backup next season because his contract's up.
I
And
think
he's not been terrible.
I believe that there's an incentive on the line for Eckler as well.
There is indeed, which he is playing. Well, I mean, granted, the Chargers are playing everybody just because they want to win a game.
Yeah, makes sense. They're gonna play. They're gonna play those guys no matter what, because obviously their big decision is gonna be who's the head coach of this team.
That is my thigh. Apparently, after tomorrow, Ian Rappaport reported since Harbaugh's contract is officially over as of tomorrow, after that game, his contract is ended. They said that Harbaugh is able to make a very quick decision. They said he could be signed within 2 weeks to the NFL.
Well, he already knows what's on the table from Michigan.
Exactly. So he said he knows everything he needs to know entering tomorrow's championship game.
What somebody, I think it was.
I loved listening to Jason because I think you sent it to me, Boogie. Listening to Jason and Travis talk about all the fans' tweets about what he looks like when he runs.
Yeah.
And I loved watching Travis's reaction because he can't say much negative because it's his teammate. So,
no, yeah, you can just pick on him a little bit, though, because he is your teammate. Yeah, it was Middlecoff. John Middlecoff was talking about how Harbaugh really, obviously he's focused on what they have tomorrow night. It's tomorrow night, right? The national championship.
Yeah, I do want to point out because the other divisions of schools don't get any credit. Montana is playing South Dakota State for the championship for the Division I AA. So today at 3:00. I don't know why they're doing Sunday during the middle of playoff eligible football, but that's the day they chose. So there you go. That's for the national championship at that level.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? They're like, listen, our fans are diehards. They're either going to watch us or they're not.
I just, it'd be cool to get some views in there.
But yeah, Middlecoff was talking about how the guy he signed as his agent, basically, because Harbaugh's obviously he knows where the interest is, but he's obviously not really paying attention to it. That's why he hires the agent. The agent goes out and quietly kind of finds out what's on the table in the NFL money wise, because he's got 10-year 125 for Michigan.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
So $12.5 million. I mean, that's, if you get that in the NFL, you're one of the top paid guys outside of, I mean, the NFL guys, top paid guys are 13, 14.
Belichick and Sean Payton.
Well, yeah, that's Belichick is $25 million, but that's not really reported because there's not really any known data there. That's the guess. Sean Payton with Denver is now $18 million. He's the second highest paid.
Which, by the way, for those who don't remember this, Denver also doesn't have a pick this year because of the Sean Payton trade. Or was that last year's draft? That was last year's draft.
That's last year.
Yeah, that was last year's draft. Sorry. Yeah.
And Denver. And then you get down to the McVays and the Shanahans and you're 13, 14, 15 million. So, I mean, if he's going to the Chargers, they're going to have to open that checkbook.
You know who I really think is a sneaky Jim Harbaugh option that would be really fun to watch? If Atlanta trades for Fields and lands Harbaugh to run that offense.
Oh, God.
They would be excited. Oh, my God. It's like a fucking blizzard in New England right now.
Yeah. Give me the Pats.
It is snowing. Man, I wish I had snow. I would fucking suck God's dick for some snow right now.
$20 is $20, so.
Cowboys Commanders in DC. No weather, I assume. I'm just going off of what I have because I'm not that far. I might as well check. But
I mean, the Cowboys are a 13-point favorite. As much as I want to pick Washington to upset them, Washington has been the worst team in the NFL half a season. The other worst team is obviously Carolina.
Yeah. I did it last week with a 13-point underdog in Arizona. You're welcome. And I'm doing it again this week. I'm taking the 13-point underdog in Washington.
God damn it.
Dallas plays so bad on the road that I could see them blowing a 13-point favorite. And I don't know. Part of me feels like McCarthy's going to be at halftime. If they're up 10 or 14, McCarthy might go, all right, we got to get ready for the playoffs and start resting certain people. Maybe not Dak, maybe not CeeDee Lamb, but certain other positions of import. And you know what? Micah Parsons can suck my dick. He sucks ass on the road, and this is the team that allows the most sacks. Sam Howell's the most sack quarterback in the NFL. And I still feel like he's only going to wrap up one sack in this game somehow.
Now, mind you, on rushing the passer on win rate percentage, it goes Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Will Anderson Jr. right now.
Yeah, which is crazy. Will Anderson, what a fucking beast.
So he still wins. Obviously, he gets a lot more of those wins at home than on the road.
Yeah.
But they also he's only useful when they're ahead. So they got to get ahead early.
Yeah, and I just want to throw this out tomorrow. We're going to make our picks because the season will be over. We'll make our picks for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to spoil one.
I was going to say Rookie of the Year is kind of just a runaway
My defensive Player of the Year, I'm just going to say plays on an AFC South team. I'm not going to go any further than that today.
I think maybe we know who that is.
I don't know. I talk about him every week, but I didn't this week though. But anyway, I'll take the Commanders in an upset. I really honestly am doing this just simply because I think the Cowboys suck ass on the road, and they have to prove that they, like Mike Irvin said, they have to win, not to go home, but win to play at home. And that's what they have to do today. And if they don't do it and they leave that door open for Philly, granted, watch Philly stumble and fall into the door. But I just think that the Commanders are playing for so much energy for Ron Rivera today. I would love to see them pull it off for good old Riverboat Ron. And I kind of just want to see him go 103 and 102. I don't want to see him have a losing record as a head coach.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing it for my Homer heart. For how much I love Ronnie Rivera.
Well, I'll let you take that pick because I'm taking the Cowboys.
2 games left. I don't even know who the quarterback is for one of these 2 games, so I'm sorry, but it's Bengals hosting Cleveland Browns with somebody. It's not Dorian Thompson-Robinson, which is odd to me. And it's not Joe
they
Flacco.
actually signed a guy who is.
Yeah, I gotta go figure out who their quarterback is today. I don't know.
By the way, Cleveland Browns did Joe Flacco a solid today.
Jeff Driscoll.
Ah, yes, Driscoll.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. What did they do with Joe Flacco?
So he had an incentive for every game that he plays 50% of the snaps. He was earning $75,000 extra dollars, and because they were going to sit him this game, they changed it from that incentive to being on the 53-man roster going into the playoffs, so they paid him the $75,000.
Dope.
Yeah.
Good for them. Good franchise move. Good ownership move. So the Browns not expected to play many people because they're the 5 seed. They can't go up. They can't go down. Amari Cooper's not playing. Flacco's not playing.
But
Jerome
you know
Ford
who is
playing.
not playing? Njoku. And that dude is still in.
And Myles Garrett is not playing, but they are playing, like you said, Njoku and Jerome Ford, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, the Ford thing is real questionable to me.
Yeah. But I'm going to go with the Bengals.
There's certain guys like that, though, position players. So, like, barring a freak accident injury, which obviously can happen, these guys don't like to take weeks off.
No, a lot of them have actually been reportedly asking to play this week, but they were told they can't.
And that's why that whole thing with the bye teams not performing well.
I actually think that's a thing.
Guys actually talk about it. They would rather stay steady state than go like to a rest period. The bye during the season is different because a lot of times you're banged up there and you need it anyways. Here you might not be banged up, but you got to take it off anyway.
Good old legendary coach. That's why I love game day morning. Hall of Fame quarterback, legendary coach, and Rich Eisen, and then a bambling idiot on the other side. But
Oh, it's kind of like you and me.
Yeah, no, I don't know who the coach is. Mooch said today that he goes, the bye week is bad. He goes, the extra weeks off is bad. He goes, but if you have the coach that actually makes you have meaningful practices during that time, it can be okay. And that's, to me, a large thing that no one talks about. How much are you putting into the practice during your time off? Like, is Lamar at the practice, like, consistently staying ready? Or is he just taking this 2 weeks off and just kind of, like, getting ready the final week? Because if you wait till that final week to prepare for your opponent, you're not going to be in top shape and you're not going to look good. I don't know. I know that Roquan Smith asked to play yesterday, and he was told no by the Ravens, which
I don't know why. I don't know why you'd say no. I would say okay, but limited. Like,
I would be like, you're going to play the first half of the game, and then we're benching you.
Yeah.
But by the way, I don't know if you saw the Pro Bowl rosters. The 2 starting middle linebackers are Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith.
Makes sense. And they're on the same team.
Yep. But anyway, I'll go Bengals. They're the only team playing everybody, so I'll go Bengals.
Yeah, I think the Bengals here is a good choice.
And they want to get to a winning record. They're 8-8. They don't want to fall to 8-9.
Yeah, and I think the only inactive I saw today that was real meaningful was T. Higgins.
Yeah, who, by the way, probably won't be back as a Bengal. Contract's up. Jamar Chase said he's going to have to get paid, and they don't know the only way Higgins gets paid is if he takes a pay cut.
Right.
And I don't think that they're going to risk not keeping Jamar Chase. So,
yeah, I like the Bengals here as well. The Browns, I think, are just sitting too many people. You don't know what you're getting with Driscoll.
Yeah, a week, not even a full week of the playbook.
And we know what we're getting out of the Bengals because they're playing just about everybody, and we've seen this body of work for the last 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the Bengals here.
All right, Sunday Night Football. Win and you're in. Lose and the Bills are out unless the Jags lose. If the Jags lose and the Bills lose, the Jags and the Bills still get in. That's the only way the Bills get in with a loss. The winner gets the 2 seed. The loser gets the 6 seed. If it's the Dolphins, I should say. I want to say this is tough, but 48-20 earlier this year, Miami doesn't have Waddle. They don't have Mostert. They don't have
Bradley Chubb or what's his name there?
Or Xavier Howard. They
or
already
their
don't
pass
have
rusher. The pass rusher that went down with the
Achilles. He's on the IR. So, they're missing both pass rushers now, and Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. Xavier Howard's gone, so all they have is Jalen Ramsey in the secondary. Their number 2 is Eli Apple, for those who don't know how bad their number 2 is now without Xavier Howard.
Let me just tell you something about Eli Apple. He's bad. When you trade a guy named Eli Apple out of New York,
right?
That tells you everything you need to know.
No, you cannot get up. So Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis should have games, but Stephon Diggs, since his brother tweeted about him not getting the ball enough, Stephon Diggs is only averaging 35 yards a game receiving. So that's worth noting. But I'm taking the Bills. I think they're going to steamroll the Dolphins, to be honest.
I think they do too, because we've seen this matchup time and time again. It's speed versus physicality. And physicality on that defense has hammered this offense every time.
Yep. We saw it last week with the Ravens. 56 points or some shit. 58. I don't know what the Ravens put up.
I just, and with the Bills knowing what's at stake, I mean, you're going to get a typical Josh Allen performance, I think. He's probably going to throw a pick.
Why is this dog so scared of a cat? Come on.
But if any, people don't want to talk about it a lot because obviously it's kind of like a runaway for Lamar at this point, but Josh Allen accounts for 83% of the Buffalo Bills touchdowns.
Josh Allen is the number 2 in the MVP chase. Josh Allen has, is it 40 something? Hold on.
Dude, he's got 40 touchdowns for
27 in the air, and then he's got 15 on the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
So 42 touchdowns. And he's not a Pro Bowler, by the way. That's why I say the Pro Bowl is a joke, things like that. The Antoine Winfield one really blows my mind.
Oh yeah, I saw that post too. I was like, geez.
The fact that Aiden Hutchinson got in crazy to me because of people like Thibodeau who have 12 sacks on the Giants and he didn't get in. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's why it's a joke. But I just think the Bills are just so physical, so dominant. I think the defense, even with Matt Milano being gone, Trey Bernard has really stepped up as the middle linebacker this year, which has shocked me. Stephon Diggs has to show up, though. I can't deny it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying necessarily today, at least into the playoffs, he's got to come back.
And James Cook, same thing. Can't be taking weeks off where you're just non-existent.
Yeah, but if James Cook rolls, they don't need Diggs as much. So Cook's the one I can rely on the most right now just because Diggs has been gone for so long. But Gabe Davis will probably have a real big game today, to be honest. No way Jalen Ramsey is covering Gabe Davis. Reports were this morning that he asked Vic Vance Joseph, the head defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, he asked to shadow Stephon Diggs. So if you're going to let Jalen Ramsey shadow Stephon Diggs, that means Gabe Davis is against Eli Apple. And
that tells you everything you need to know.
And then you still have to deal with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox being healthy for the Bills. So I don't know.
And James Cook if they use him in the pass game.
Yeah, it's just too much. The Bills easily win this game, in my opinion. I think they're just the better team.
Yeah, and it tells you something that the line is 3 points in favor of Buffalo, and they're on the road.
Yep, and for the record, I just want to throw this out there. The Dolphins haven't won their division. I didn't fact check it, but Kurt Warner said it, so I believe him. 15 years now since they've won the division. 23 since they've won a playoff game.
And Josh Allen, 10-2 against the Miami Dolphins.
Yep, and I don't see that changing tonight.
Nope.
And it is game time. It is playoff game time, so I'm trying to see if we have anyone to raid. So tomorrow night, how this is going to go, we're going to talk a little bit about the games today. We're probably not going to talk much at all about the irrelevant games like Jets, Patriots. There's not really it matters tomorrow. But we might mention some things that we saw that were worth noting. We're going to give our picks for Coach of the Year, all the other of the year awards. We're going to probably have some head coach firings and picks on maybe who we could see replacing those coaches. And then have other crap to talk about because the season's ending, but playoffs are coming and we're going to have playoff matchups and we'll probably be making picks. So it's going to be fun. I'm so excited for the postseason. I don't even care if the Packers make it. Yes, I want us to, but I'm so excited for the postseason regardless if we make it. So
the stakes just become so high in the postseason.
And it just helps knowing all season I didn't expect much once I saw that slump. I thought we were going to be good, but once I saw that slump in the middle of the season where I was like, who is our quarterback? I gained so much excitement for just everything else in football because I didn't have to worry about the Packers. So I'm feeling that still. Anyway, we're going to raid a wildlife rescue. I don't know if they have their chat open for everybody, but we're going to raid it because they're amazing people and they just show otters, sea lions, and dolphins.
Parting thought from Boog. Pretzel Baconator. Fire.
I would love to try it, but I just don't. I don't have. My car is a constant issue, so I don't have the extra money right now. But I will try it when I get paid again because I would love to try it. But we're going to raid the otter people.
It's a 92 Pinto.
It runs like one nowadays. But anyway, we love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Enjoy fucking playoff football. Not playoff football.
Essentially playoff football in some of the games.
Yep. So have a good night, guys, and have a good day. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night.
Yes. Bye, guys. Enjoy.
I don't even know. Actually let me raid them. I wasn't sure. Because it's a